Hello friends, welcome. So in the previous video we created the Laravel REST API and I have used the insomnia to make a GET request, POST request and so on. Now in this video I'm going to create a Vue JS project and use that Laravel API and make a CRUD for skills. So here in the insomnia we have made the skill get skills, all the skills, and we have empty data. And we have links because we in the controller. So let's open HTTP controllers API skill controller. We return paginate. Let's remove this because I'm not going to create pagination. And let's say all to return all the projects, all the skills, sorry. And now we have an empty data. Good. Let's go and make and create a new skill. So in the post request, send skill created. Now if I come here, we have one data. And also, as you can see, I have changed the name to be skill name and the Slack to be URL. So let's go and also change them back to name. Just I want to know here is the name and here is the Slack, not the URL what we are going to create. We can leave it like this, but just I think it's more okay that. And we can update, of course. So if you come here, you can see we have Laravel ... and Laravel. Send again, we have name Slack React. And if I update now to the Laravel ... and Laravel, send skill updated, come here, we have React, but if I click again, yeah, we updated and we can delete. So let's send, go now, and yeah, not found because we deleted that. Good. Okay, now let's open my iTerm. I think I have here. And let's say npm init view at latest. Hit enter. Give it the name of Vue REST API. No TypeScript, no JSX. Yes, Vue router. No piña. And no. CD in the REST API now. Sorry, the Vue REST API. npm install. And then run the npm run dev. But first I'm going to open the project with VS Code. And then let's run the npm run dev. And as you can see, by default, the Vite is coming with the port 5173. If you don't like that, you can change in the vite.config.js. So here we can add server, and we need to change the port, for example, to 3000. Save this, and yeah, now we have the 3000. Let's go in the browser and let's navigate in the localhost 3000. Here is our project. Okay, we need to make some changes here. So first I'm going to go in the app.view and remove this component here, remove the image, remove the hello world, and also the styles here. I'm going to install Tiling CSS. Go to the components because I'm going to remove all of them. Let's say delete. In the views, we have the about view, we don't need that. So let's delete this. And I'm going to leave the home view. Let's remove this from here and the welcome also here. And inside the router index, yeah, now we don't have that. So let's change the home view for now. Like this. Just to not have an error. Yeah, we have only home and about. Okay. Go to the assets, delete the base and the logo. And go to the mine CSS, select all and delete them. Okay, now I want to install the Tiling CSS to this project. So let's open tilingcss.com, get started. Choose the framework guide. We use Vue and also we use Vue. Let's run this npm install tiling CSS, post CSS and auto prefixer. So I'm going to terminate and paste that in. Then npx tiling CSS in it. Okay, then we need to add these 2 lines in the content inside the tiling config. So here inside the content, save, then add the base components and utilities inside the styles, in our case in the mine CSS. And the last thing is to run npm run dev. So let's go here, npm run dev, and I have an alias for that, just like this. And open the, yeah, we have some changes as you can see. Now let me go in the app, and instead of something like this, I'm going to give it a class of max with the B7XL, MX auto. And if I come here, yeah. Also this router view I'm going to cut and paste in the main with the class max with 7XL MX auto, and I'm going to give it a min edge of screen like this and paste that. Let's go inside the index, and here in this div I'm going to give it a class bg slate 200. Close, go to the browser, and yeah, we have something like this. Okay, now let's start and work. I'm going to leave it the home view just to be home like this, and as I said, the about is not going to be about, it's going to be skills. The name is going to be skill index, but let's go in the views here and create, I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name it skills. And here I'm going to create the skill index dot view, the skill create dot view, and also the skill edit dot view. Okay, now let's go in the index here, and the name is going to be also skill index. You can name it what you like. I want to name like this. And now let's import inside the views. We have the skills and then the skill index. Okay, let's remove this commented here. And let's copy this, paste 2 times. This is going to be skills slash create, Also here we need to change that to be skill create for the name, and also skill create the component. Here the same thing, we need here to be skills, and we need the ID, and then edit and change the component, which is going to be skill edit. Okay, I think we are okay right now. Let's go and see if we have any errors. No error. Yeah, we don't have the about. Where is this about coming from? It's coming maybe from here. Yeah, we need to say skills and skills here. Refresh, and now we are okay. We need to add some styles here. So let's say just add the class to be margin or px 4 and py 2. I'm going to give it a margin right of 4, and let's say bg indigo 600 on hover to be bg indigo 700 or 800. Okay, and I'm going to say rounded like this. Let's save and let's see how it's going to look. Something like this. Oh, we need to say also the text to be white. Text white. Very good. And let's do the same thing for this one. Yeah. In the nav now, I'm going to add a class to be margin 2 and padding 2. Only padding. Yeah. Okay, friends. Now if I click here, we navigate to the skills and we don't have any error, but we don't have the template, as you can see here. So let's go in the skill index, and I have a shortcut to create a Vue script with setup and template here, and save. Now refresh, we are okay. And let's do the same thing for create. So v setup and save, and in the skill edit, v setup save. Okay, now we need, when we go to the skills, I'm going to display a table here to get the skills and make a call to the REST API Laravel. So the same we make in here, and get all the skills and display them in the table. I'm going to use style in CSS for the styles. And when we add the button also to navigate to the skills create and create a new skill, and also the buttons to edit and delete skills. But all the logic I'm going to do in the, we can do in the views here. So in skill index, we can make all the logic here, but I'm going to make the logic inside I'm going to create the composables only for the skills. So let's go inside the source, and I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to name it composables. And here, let's create a new file. I'm going to name it skills.js. And here what we need. Let's first create the composable. To create a composable, let's say export default the function, and we need to give it a name. Okay, and for the name is the common convention to say use and then the what name you like. So use, I'm going to name it skills. Okay, and then what we need here, we need also to return an object with the properties we need to import, for example, in the skill index or create and edit. So what we need here for the logic, we need first, as I said, when we come here, I want to get all the skills and display in the table. So we need the skills. For that, we need to import the ref from Vue. So let's say import a ref from Vue. And now let's say here, I'm going to create a constant to be skills, going to be equal with a ref, and initially it's going to be an empty array. Good. Next, I'm going to create also another constant for single skill, and let's say equal to ref and an empty array again. And let's start with them and we are going to see the work. So I'm going to create a constant and say get skills is going to be equal with async function. And we are going to use Axios here. So let's say open the terminal inside and I'm going to say npm install Axios like this, close. And now we need to import the Axios also here. Import Axios from Axios and make a call. We need to make a call to this URL. So let's copy and say const response to be equal with await Axios dot get and give it the URL, which is this URL. Then I'm going to say skills and dot, we need to access the value because the skills is the ref here, reference skill dot value is going to be equal with response dot data again, because we have data returned from Laravel resource. Okay, now here I'm going to make also a get skill to get single skill. So let's say const get skill is going to be async, and here we need the ID to get a single skill. So let's add the ID and let's say await Axios dot get and the URL. Now for the URL, instead of repeating this, I'm going to cut this one and go up here and say Axios dot default dot base URL is going to be equal with this URL here, and then we just say get skills down there, just get skills, and we need also the ID, so plus the ID we have here, and we need also to create a constant response to be equal with that one, and then we say a single skill dot value, because it's a ref, it's going to be equal with response dot data. Okay, so we have skills and get skills. We need to store a new skill. So let's create that. Const, and I'm going to name it store skill. You can name it what you like. It's going to be equal with an async function. And in here, we need the data we are going to send. So store skill, we need the name in the slug. And we're going to name it data here. And also we are going to look for the errors if we have errors. So let's say try and catch, try, and then catch if we have any error. And if we have, I'm going to check first if the error dot response dot status, if error response status is for choo-choo, I'm going to say, let's create the const for errors up here. Const errors to be equal with a ref, and I'm going to assign with an empty object. And now down here, I'm going to say errors dot value is going to be equal with error dot response dot data dot errors, like this. And if we don't have an error up here, we can say await Axios post, Axios dot post, and we want to post to this URL. So we have here post, just we need to add the skills, and we need to add the data here. Okay, now after we create in the post, we need to return back to the skill index, because this store skill we are going to use in the store create page, and then we are going to return to the index. So let's say we need the router here, so let's import the router. Import the use router from Vue router. Now let's create a constant here and say const router is going to be equal with use router, like this. And here we can say router push, router dot push, and where we want to send that, we want to send to the skill index. So let's say, let's give it a name, which is skill index. And also I'm going to await this. And I think we are okay with store skill. So we get the skills, get single skill, and store skill. Now we need to update and delete. So let's come down there and say create a constant. I'm going to name it update skill, which is going to be equal to an async function. And also here we need the ID and the data to update the skill. But for the data, I'm going to use the skill, because when we go to the skill edit, I'm going to make a call get skill and then display the skill name and Slack. So for that, we are going to use that skill. I'm going to show you, so just don't worry. Update skill, and I'm going to say try and catch again here. Try, and then catch for the errors. If we have any error, so let's say error, the same thing as up here. If we have any errors, if the error status is true, we are going to say errors.value error response data.errors. Now we're going to try first to send the request. So say await Axios dot, I'm going to say put, and the URL is skills slash plus the ID we have here, and we need the data as I said, but here we are going to add what we have in the skill dot value. Okay, and when we are updating, again we are going to return to the skill index. So let's paste that in. I think we are okay now. The last one is to delete the skill. So let's come here and say constant, let's name it destroy skill. Also this one is going to be a async function. We need the ID to delete that, and let's say await Axios dot delete, give it the URL, which is skills slash the ID plus ID here. And when we delete in these skills, now we need to update all the skills. So we need to call the get skills again. So let's say again await and get skills. And also if you want to show pop-up, so let's say here if window.confirm are you sure? Okay, and return. So if we're going to say cancel, it's going to return, otherwise it's going to send that. And I think we are okay now. So destroy, update, store, get single one, and get all of them. Skills, single skill, errors, router. Let's return now them, because we need to import in the skill index, create and edit. So down there we can say return skills, single skill, all the skills, get single skill, get all the skills, store skill, update skill, and I think we have the delete skill. Oh yeah, and the error, so delete. Oh, destroy, sorry, destroy skill and the errors. We are going to return all of them. And now let's go and see if we don't have any error. No. I'm going to open flowbyte.com just to copy the table and displaying the skills. So go to docs, and I think we have the table somewhere. Yeah, tables. And let's copy this, the first one, the default one. So let's copy, go in the skill index, and inside the template, I'm going to add a div with a class to be margin top of 12 and paste that table in. Let's save and let's go and see. Yeah, and we have something like this. Okay. Now we need to get the skills there in the index and display, make a v4 and display all the skills. So first let's go up here. Here we are in the template. In the setup, I'm going to import the use skills from skills, the composables, and I'm going to also import the onMounted from Vue, and then I'm going to detract what we want in the skill index from the use skills. I'm going to say const. What we need here, we need all the skills. We need also the get skills because we are going to call here. And that's it, I think. For now, let's say use skills. That's coming from the use skills. And now onMounted, I'm going to call that get skills here. And let's see if I save this. And let's go and refresh. Go to the view. Skill index. We have skills, but we right now is empty, I think. Let's go and go to skill index. Click send. Yeah, we have an empty skill. Let's go and create one. Say Vue JS here. One more and the Laravel. Also for the slug, Laravel. And now let's go to the skill index. We have 3 of them. Refresh. And yeah, we have 3 skills in our skill index. Now let's go and make a v4 inside the table. We need to display the name and the slug. So let's say name slug, remove this one and remove the price here. This is going to be because we are going to add the edit and delete buttons there. So I'm going to remove this one here. And this too. And I'm going to say v4 skill in skills. We need to add the key, which is going to be skill.id, and here display the skill name. And let's copy and paste this, change the name to be slug, like this. And if I save, go and refresh, yeah, we have the name and the slug, and we need to add also one more for the delete, edit and delete. So let's copy and paste, and let's save right now just edit/delete. Okay, we have something like this, and I think we are okay right now. Now we need to add a button here and go to the skill create and create a new skill. So let's work with that. In here, I'm going to add a div with a class to be flex, and I'm going to say justify and margin 2 and padding 2, and then I'm going to add a router link. It's going to go to the, we need to bind this because I'm going to use name router link to name, which is skill create, I think is. Let's go inside the index. Yeah, skill create. So give it the name skill create. Okay. We need to give it some classes, but let's leave it for now like this. And let's say a new skill, I'm going to say. And I think we need to add a single quotes here. Refresh, we have that new skill, just we need to design a little bit. So let's give it some classes. And I'm going to say px for py2. Let's give it a bg indigo 500. On hover, we're going to change that to be bg indigo 700. Text is going to be white, and I'm going to give it some rounded classes. Rounded like this. And let's see, like this. Okay. And as you can see, when we hover, we say here skills create. Now if I click, we navigate to the skills create, and in the skill create right now, just let's say here create, and yeah, we are in the create. Good. Let's go and come here to the form inputs, because we need to create a form. And I'm going to select this default input here. Let's go and create a form. So inside here, I'm going to add a div first. So let's say div with a class to be margin top 12. And inside, let's paste the form. And for now, just add the form, and then we are going to design that. I'm going to give it a div inside the form with a class to be space y of 6, and paste that input 2 times. Let's save and let's see what we are going to get. Yes, something like this, and we need to change this a little bit. So in the form, I'm going to give it some classes. So let's say class to be max with MD. I'm going to give it an MX auto and padding of 4. Let's give it a BG white. I'm going to give it also the shadow MD and rounded MD. And let's save. And yeah, we have something like this. Now we need only to add the button. And let's go in the skill index. And I'm going to copy the classes we have here, because we are going to do the same. After this div, let's say a div with a class margin top to be 4, and paste that. Oh, sorry, we need to say a button first. Button with class, and let's say store. Save, and we have this kind of form here. Okay, now we need to create a form. So for that, I'm going to import from Vue. Now we can use ref or reactive, what you like. So let's use reactive, and let's create a constant form to be equal with reactive, and we need to create a name, which initially is going to be empty, and slug also initially an empty string. Then we need to send that form. So when we click to this, we are going to say on submit, call the store skill, and the store skill is going to come from the skills composable. So let's import that. Import use skills, and from the use skills we are going to extract what we want. So let's say const, and here we want the store skill, and also we want the errors because we need to display the errors equal with use skills. Okay, and here we are going to say store skills and add the form. Okay, now label for, let's say label for a name, not default input, but name here. And in the input, ID is going to be name. And let's say now vModel form dot name. Okay, let's go down and say label for slug. Let's say slug here, not ID in default input, but ID slug, and let's add the vModel to be form dot slug, like this. Let's say type submit to this button, and I think we are okay now. On submit, we need to say also the prevent, to not to prevent the reloading, and we are okay. I think. Oh, we need to show the errors as well, but let's go here and click send. We have only 3. Let's try now if we can create a new skill. I'm going to say test and test. Say store, and we redirected back. Very good, and we have also the skill, as you can see. Okay, and if I open and click send, yeah, we have the, very good. We don't have any errors. Okay, now let's display the errors, because if I just say send, we have 42 and nothing happened here. So in here, when we have the label, let's close this. We have the input for the name. After this, I'm going to say, let's add the div, and let's say here, not class, but v if the errors dot name, if we have an error for name, I want to display a span. And why we go there? So let's, I don't know. So if we have that, I'm going to say a span, and say a class to be, first give it a text to be small, and then text red 400, And inside, let's say errors dot name and give it the first one in the array. And let's copy this div here and do the same thing on the second one. So down there, just change from name to be slug. We need to check for the slug. Let's save it. Let's go up here and refresh. Click store. Okay, cannot read properties of undefined name. Errors.name. Very good. So we check if the errors have name, but yeah, we have imported the errors from the use skills. When we store skill, we say errors dot value errors response dot errors, and I think we have the same thing here. Save and reload here. Go to the console, say store, and now we have the name field is required. The slug field is required. Let's say test 2 here, but for the slug, I'm going to give it the same slug. And we in the Laravel, we check for the unique. So let's say now, say store. Yeah, the slug has already been taken. Let's say test 2, store, and now we have that. Okay, very good. I think we are okay with the store. Now let's work with the edit and delete. We are in the skill create. Everything okay. Let's go to the skill index. And here let's work with a button down there when we have delete. And I'm going to copy that, the button we have here. Or we need a link, not a button. Just copy the class. And let's go in the skill index and say, remove this and say here, router link. And it's going to go to the name skill edit. And now here we need to add params. So let's say params is going to be an object where the ID is skill, not the kill, but skill dot ID. And let's give it some classes. So we need to paste that, what we have here, and say edit like this, click save. And yeah, we have the edit, but maybe just change from indigo to be green. Yeah. And I'm going to add the button now. After this one, let's add a button. With that class and say delete. Okay, and I'm going to say also here, or up here, I'm going to say space x2 like this. Change the color to be red. And I think we are okay now. If I click the edit, we navigate in the skills to edit. Let's go to the skills. Let's go to this one, skills for edit and so on. Okay, let's go now and work with the skill edit. I'm going to copy the form we have in here. So, or let's copy all the div. Let's copy all the div and paste it inside the template. But we need to make changes, of course. But first, let's import what we want here. We don't want the store, but we want to update. Update skill. So let's import here. Use skills. And also on mounted, import on mounted from Vue, because as said, when we update a skill, we are going to add here the skill.value. So in the skill edit, we are going to make a call to get single skill. And if we make a call, we assign the skill value to this response, so we have a skill. And in here, we are going to get from the destruct from the use skills the skill is single one, also the get skill, the update skill, and also the errors, like this. And now let's say on mounted, call the get single skill, but here we need the ID. We can access the ID. We can, because in the index.js we say here skill edit, we added the ID, and we can add also props to be true. With that, now if I save and let's go up here, and I'm going to say const props, not like this, but props like this is going to be equal with define props, which is going to be an object, and we need only the ID here. We accept only ID, which is going to be required for sure. We need that. So true, and let's give it a type of string. And then we can say here props.id. Okay, now down there when we say vModel, not form name, but skill.name, because now when we make a unmounted, we call the get skill, and this method is going to assign the data with this skill. And we display the skill name, and down there the skill flag. Here now, when we say update skill, not form, we call the update skill, but we need to add the skill. We need to add the ID, sorry, not the skill, because in the update skill, we accept only the ID here. So let's go and say we need to add the ID. We can get the ID from the route. So we can say $route dot params.id to get the ID here. Now if I refresh, okay, what is this version skills? Yeah, we need to add in the skills the get single skill. We need to add here slash and to refresh. And yeah, now we have Laravel here. Go to the skills. Let's select this test 2. We have test 2, good. Skill edit, and on click we say update. For the errors we display them. Just let's see if I leave it empty, store the skill is required, and if let's refresh, we have test 2, and let's update only the name. So let's say dot here, and yeah, we updated everything. Okay, let's go and edit again, and I'm going to change this to be test 2, so just test, and this is used here, so we're going to get an error. So let's say something like this. And let's go back to test2 store. The slug has already been taken. If I say test2 like this, store, and yeah, everything okay. We are okay with update, with errors. Now let's work with delete. Let's go to the skill index. And when we delete, on delete, we are going to call the destroy skill. And here we need the ID. So let's go up here and let's import that. So let's import the destroy skill. And down there on the button, we are going to say add click, call the destroy skill, and add here the skill ID. Let's save with only that. We have imported the destroy skill. Okay, refresh. And let's delete this. Yeah, are you sure? No. Okay, nothing happened. Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, we updated the skills. And again, okay, I think we are good now. So we display all the skills. Go to the home first. Skills. We display all the skills here. We can create a new skill. Let's say test, store. Okay, click edit. If I remove, we have the errors. And if I update, just say dot here. We have both of them. Let's go back to test and let's go back here. Okay, we need to change that, not store. So in the skill edit, the be update the button like this. Okay. And now for the delete, as you saw, we can delete. That's it about this video, friends. I hope you enjoy and see you in the next one. All the best.